Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Jessie May, and today I'm going to be presenting y'all a new makeup and crime video. If you're new here, welcome. If you're not, welcome back. Don't forget to subscribe to me. I'm Jessie. I make makeup content, true crime content, as well as a little bit of controversy. So if you're interested in those two things, girl, subscribe to me. So this man, he's literally crazy. I mean, he faked his identity, killed who knows how many women. He joined the army. He went AWOL. He's crazy. So people know him as Rodney Alcala, the dating game serial killer. So at the time of his birth, he was giving a different name. He was giving Rodrigo, I'm about to butcher this, okay, but bear with me. Rodrigo Jalquez Alcala Bucor. He was born August 23rd, 1943 in San Antonio, Texas. So they did not stay in Texas for a long time. They decided to move to Mexico, and they didn't stay in Mexico long either because his father abandoned his family, him and his mom, Anna, and his other siblings. She made the decision to move back to California around 1950. He had a pretty well life, you know, in Cali. People described him as funny, intelligent, charming, really smart, you know, like just like your average kid. So years has passed. He finally graduated high school in 1960. He made the decision to go to the army in 1961, and he was 17 years old. He was stationed at Fort Campbell. Pretty sure I said that wrong, but that is on the border of Kentucky and Tennessee, and they gave him a week pass to go to Tennessee. Well, he did not go to Tennessee. He decided to go to New York. And what does he do? He does not combat. Instead of going to Nashville, he decides to steal a car, steal credit cards, and he drives 13 hours all the way to New York. That is insane. You're probably thinking, what the heck is he gonna do in New York? Like, what are you gonna do, buddy? Well, he decides to go to a bar and just start acting a fool. Just start acting a fool. One night, he leaves the bar and he sees this woman. He felt the urge in his soul to go to that woman and attack her. That's really scary. He literally chases this woman down, like chase her down, I mean full speed. Beats her with a Coke bottle. Luckily, this woman, she got away and reported him to the police. So the police ended up finding Rodney. They found out that he was in the army, and then the police contacted the army, and the army was like, okay, we're gonna come get him. And so while they were like switching, I guess trying to give Rodney to the army, they ended up losing Rodney, moving from one train to another train, and then they lost Rodney during the midst of that. I mean, like, this man was gone. They said it was like some magic crap that he did, and somehow he ends up back at his mama's house, literally like nothing happened. He did it as if he did not attack this woman, almost tried to go to jail, like he did. When he got home, his family noticed something different, and his mom said that she noticed something different about her son. And the time with his family, he was doing very weird, disturbing, disgusting things. He exposed himself to his little sister. Disgusting. Hello? Like, his family does not know what to do with him. I mean, he is exposing himself to his sister. Their energy is off. He's just acting weird and creepy. Eventually, the army ends up catching up to Rodney. Thank goodness. He pleads guilty to going AWOL. They gave him a psych evaluation, and they said that Rodney is not mentally there, and he's unstable, and he cannot perform army duties, so they just let him go. So after he stole a car and a credit card, beat a woman with a glass Coke bottle, they literally just said, good luck, have a nice life, pretty much. So after the military just pretty much let him off, he decided to go to UCLA. While he was at UCLA, he decided to major in photography. People were saying that he was super sweet, he was amazing, he was kind. I mean, he was the type of person that can make friends no matter where he goes. And I feel like when, you know, during that time, like the 70s and 60s and 80s, photography was like, you know, popping. I mean, this man, he always had a camera on hand. The camera is important because this plays an important role to his evil actions. On September 1969, Rodney was outside of this hotel called Chateau Mumont. I already know I butchered that, honey. He was outside this hotel and he spotted this little girl, this 8-year-old little girl. And this little girl, her name was Tali. And Tali, she was on her way to school. So Tali knew not to talk to strangers, okay? Tali, she was actually staying in the hotel that Rodney was driving past by. Rodney pulls up, you know, on the side of her, rolled his window down, and spoke to her. He
was like, hey, do you need to ride to school?
And Tali, she said no because she knows not to talk to strangers. But Rodney continues to follow her with his car. And then, you know, Tali, she was not budging and at all. She did not want to go with this man because, you know, this man is a stranger, as she should, like, stranger danger, duh. But he got her with this line. He says,
I'm friends with your parents.
Tali, she's a young girl and she was raised to be respectful to adults, and she felt comfortable enough to get into Rodney's car because she was like, hey, you know, my parents know this man. I'm gonna get in his car. And he was on his way to his apartment, but thank goodness somebody saw that happening and followed Rodney's car and called the police. Guys, do not be a bystander. If you see something weird happening, address that hello. Eventually, the police showed up to his apartment, and the police that showed up was Chris Camacho. And Chris Camacho said that he can hear other people on the side of the door. I mean, he heard something, and he was just knocking on the door, but nobody's answering the door. The police officer, he was saying that it was like they were like struggling, or something was going on on the other side of the door that wasn't normal, okay? With Mr. Camacho was another police officer, and they saw that the curtains, you know, opened up. They saw a man, which was Rodney, butt naked. I mean, butt cheeks out, all of that. Disgusting. Ew. I don't want to. Ew. The officer was like, hey, can I speak with you? Can you, you know, let me in your house? I want to speak. Rodney was like,
oh, I just got out the shower. Let me put some clothes on.
The officer knew that Rodney was not telling the truth simply because when he was looking at him, I mean, this man was not wet. Because, like, when you get out the shower, you know, your hair would be wet. Your body would be wet. You would look like you just got out the shower. Rodney didn't look like that. So, the police officer, they kicked down that door, as they should, because why is you lying? Why is you lying? Something fishy going on. Rodney dipped out the back. I mean, he dipped out. He said bye. And so the police officers, they found Tali on the ground in his apartment, bloody, unconscious, and her clothes were like tossed to the side. I mean, this is disturbing and unsettling that he would do this to a child. Thankfully, she survived. So after they saved Tali, they searched through Rodney's apartment and they have found, you know, a UCLA ID, and then they also found photos. And these photos were pictures of little boys and little girls. Disgusting and disturbing. And it was very clear to the police that he was not being just a photographer. I mean, he was being a predator and a disgusting human. And of course, Rodney, he is still on the run. He decided to run to a new place. Well, not a new place, a very familiar place, New York City. And he decided to enroll into New York University under a fake name. What did he decide to major in? Film. He decided to major in film. While he was in New York, he changed his name to John Berger. Yeah. What else did he do in New York? Well, he decides to become a camp counselor dealing with children. Wow. So, you know, it's like the 1960s, so I don't think they had background checks. So, I mean, it makes a lot of sense how he's getting away with it. So, during this time, post offices, they always had, like, missing children and, you know, most wanted criminals on, like, their windows and things like that. So, these two kids, they were just walking and passing by the post office, and they see something. You know, kids, when they see a poster and they see most wanted, they're just, I don't know, being kids, they do what they do. And they saw a familiar face. they see, wait a minute, he looks a little bit familiar. Too familiar. They saw a picture of Rodney, but on the poster it doesn't say John Berger. So they're like, that looks like, literally, that looks like, you know, Mr. Berger. Like, who? Hello? And so those kids, they went back to the camp, told, you know, the camp directors, they told an adult, and they said that they saw Mr. Berger on the most wanted poster. And you know what Rodney did? Everyone, let's guess. He fled the scene. He said, I don't know, y'all. But thankfully, eventually he got caught and he was put in jail. And then he went on trial, and this trial was about Tally and her, you know, her attack and her almost murder. They were like getting his trial together and things like that. Tally and her family decided to move to Mexico after what happened to their daughter. They allowed Tally to testify against Rodney. Tally couldn't do that simply because she wasn't here, you know. The family did not want Tally to prosecute against Rodney simply because Tally is 8 years old and she has already been through a lot. And so the parents were just like, no, we're not doing that. Next caller, leave us alone. So unfortunately, since Tally's parents said, no, our daughter's not going to testify against this man, police could not go through with the charges. So instead of being charged with the crime that he committed, he got a plea deal for having committed child molestation. So instead of the judge being in charge how long Rodney could be in prison, a parole person would be in charge of that. You know, Rodney, he's a smooth talker. I mean, he knows how to smooth talk his way out of things. After he got out, he was arrested again, like I guess like a few months later, and he was smoking with a 13-year-old child. Ridiculous. And he was sentenced to another 2.5 years in prison, and then in 1977 he was released from jail with parole. So during the times of like 1977 up in New York, a lot of charros was happening. They had a blackout. There was just too much. So, you know, Rodney, in the midst of that, I mean, he decided to be Rodney, you know, and he was going around asking people if he can take pictures of them. A common thing that he did is if you see a woman that like he likes or whatever, he will do his little charm, get them comfortable enough for him to take their picture, and he would start to arrange meetings with them, you know, to get more professional photos taken. Or once they're like comfortable enough and once he has like their pictures, he would ask them like, hey, do you want to do more sessions with me? Typically the girl would be like, yeah. So one woman that he took pictures of is called Ellen Hubbard, and she is the daughter of a well-known nightclub owner. So around July 15th, Ellen Hubbard was reported missing. She was gone. And on that same day, the police went to her apartment and they looked at her calendar. They saw this name, John Berger. They saw Berger on that calendar. And we all know who Berger is, Rodney. So the police recognized that name, and so what did they do? They found Rodney and they start questioning him. And unfortunately, since Ellen was considered missing, no body, no evidence, literally no nothing to prove Rodney had a connection with Ellen's disappearance. And pretty much his alibi was that him and Ellen, they met up, you know, to take professional pictures, and she went home. So 11 months go by and they found skeletal remains in Rockefeller State Park of Ellen Hoover, and that is so sad and disturbing. When they found her remains, Rodney already dipped out. I mean, Rodney went right back to California. He was like, baby, I'm home, period, what's up? He was just there in Cali, just taking pictures of different women. Click, 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 click. The whole time, like, he was just pretending to be this beautiful photographer. He was hunting. He was out here hunting on these women. So on September 13th, 1978, he decided to do a game show called The Dating Game. So pretty much on this game show, there's like one woman, and the one woman has these 3 contestants. The woman cannot see the contestant. Like, it's pretty much like a blind date. And of course, you know, Rodney is being his charming, lovable, likable self, and he wins a date with this woman named Cheryl. They end up meeting each other and things like that, but Cheryl, she was not feeling the vibe. She said, this man is weird. So Cheryl ends up making a call And Cheryl was saying, I cannot go on a date with this man. So moving on from that, Rodney is still living his same life. Around 1979, his final victim, who was a child, his name was Robin. Rodney was on a beach, spotted this little girl, Robin, and his eyes were just so fixed on Robin. So he goes up to Robin, lures her in by asking if he can take a picture of Robin. And along with Robin, she was also with one of her friends. And Rodney asked if he can, take their pictures for this swimsuit competition. So pretty much we're just making it crap like we always do. And the two girls agreed. She was like, yeah, duh. They were like, walking around the beach and just trying to find, different poses and things like that. And luckily, another person was on the beach, because it's a beach. And someone spotted Rodney being weird with these two girls, and the person went up to Rodney. Rodney got scared and he literally just took off. They called the police, and then the two girls gave a police report. After all that commotion happened, Robin looked at the time. She was like, oh crap, it's getting late. I'm gonna be late for my ballet class. And Robin's friend said, hey, it's okay, like you can borrow my bike on your way to ballet class. Robin's friend said, hey, like do not talk to strangers, just go to your ballet class. So Robin was riding her bike on her way to her ballet class, and unfortunately, Robin did not make it to her ballet class. She did not make it, and that is so heartbreaking. So 12 days later, Robin's shoes was found in the Sierra Mountains, and Robin's body was close to by. And her body has already been messed up by animals. The police said that there was barely even a skull left, but they knew that was her. And thankfully, to the police report that Robin and her friend gave, and eventually the police got back to Robin's friend, and the police were saying, hey, can you give us like a description? And thankfully for the sketch artist, he gave a really good detailed picture of Rodney. And this picture, the sketch of Rodney, made it back to Rodney's parole officer and immediately recognized him. Police has located Rodney and they ended up arresting Rodney. When they were searching through Rodney's stuff, they found hundreds of creepy photos like of women and young children. It was just disturbing. So Rodney was put on trial in 1980 for Robin's murder. He was sentenced to the death penalty. He should have been caught way sooner. Way sooner. But at least he got caught. If you have any information about this case that you would want to share, please put it in the comments. Don't forget to give this video a like. Thank y'all for watching. Bye.